is the finished look, and I hope you'll be inspired to try and make this cushion. It is simple and easy, and if you're a beginner, I would advise you to practice on maybe some old curtains or old sheet, and if you don't get it perfect, don't beat up on yourself. Remember, practice becomes perfect. So thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something today. Good morning, this is Sharon from Everything Beautiful. Today we will be making a bow cushion. And what I mean by a bow cushion is that it has a big bow right across the length and the width. Okay, so I have two pieces of fabric here to make the bow, and I have a piece of fabric here for the cushion. Now this cushion is 16 inches by 16 inches. It's a square, and I cut it 17 inches. So that's what you do when you're making cushions. You make them 1 inch bigger. Not going to give you a specific measurement for the cushion because it can be any size. Okay, as I said, this is 16, I cut it 17. These two pieces, so now that I've cut this 17, I cut these two pieces 18.5 inches, and that's how it's done. You make them a little bit longer. Okay, and it's important that you center your fabric. So I have one notch here, I have another one here. I have a notch on the cushion itself, and this is the front of the cushion, and I have a notch here, and because it's joined, I have a join here. Now this, what I did is the little swag valance that I did in this color, I just cut it up and decided that I would use the fabric, use it to make a cushion. Okay, so here we are. So as I was saying, that it is important that you center it. So this is it. So I'm centering that, and this is it. And I'm going to put a pin there. All right, so I'm pinning this in the center, and I will do the same thing here, and I will do the same thing here. Okay, center it here, and do the same thing here. So this is what it's going to be like. All right, and you can use your measurement. Just ensure that the space, as a matter of fact, let me tell you, so this is 6 inches wide, 6 inches. Both pieces are, so remember I said I cut them 18.5 inches, and the cushion is 17 inches. Okay, they're supposed to be 1.5 inch longer than the cushion, and the width is say 13 inches. You want to give ½ inch allowance when you turn it over to stitch it. Okay, and this piece here, it's a little long, I'll cut it, is for the to put across here to on the top one. So that is what it's going to be like. So what you're going to do, you're going to stitch along here, and the width of this one is 6 inches wide, and the length, okay, it can be shorter than this. The length is say 8 inches, but I know I'm going to use less. I just cut it and that is it, but I'm going to be using less. But the width is 6 inches. So what you'll be doing, you'll be stitching right along here. Okay, when you stitch it, you're going to turn it over to the right side, and this is what it's going to be looking like. Okay, so without further ado, let me go ahead and show you how to put this cushion together. So this is the bottom piece, okay, as you can see, and I'm just going to be tacking it with my needle and thread to keep it in place. All right, so even though I gather it, what I want to do, I just want the gathers to remain as is. I'm actually just tacking it in place. That is it. Me tacking it. And I'm going to cut this. And the next step will be to put this one, the middle piece. My next step will be to place the middle piece, that is this, over, let me cut the thread over this and the side, okay, how tight I want it, pin it, and let's check it out. All right, to see if that is okay. And seems like it's okay. I'm going to eventually tack this onto the bottom piece. So now that I've gotten my measurement, what I want here, what I'm going to be doing is going back to the machine and stitch it together. All right, so I'm going to do that and get back to it. It's a little bit too close there. All right, so that is it. So I will just go to the machine and stitch across here and just pull it over. All right, so I'm going to mark where I need to stitch, mark it there, and that's it. So the next step is to prepare the back of the cushion, and I'll be using a overlap cushion. No, I'll be using and I'm actually making an, oh sorry about that, an overlap cushion. So when you're doing an overlap cushion, this one you don't use zippers. They're easily done. You can always remove the covers from the cushion, and clean them and put them on back. So whenever you're doing a cushion like that, what you do, you actually fold the front of the cushion, double it like this, and then you place it onto the back of your fabric, and you should have two pieces for the back. Now, as I said, it's what I had used to make the swag curtain I'm using, so I don't have a lot of fabric. But when you place it onto this, you should have two pieces for the back. You should make the back 5.5 inches longer than the front. Okay, so we're going to measure it off, and it should be 5.5 inches longer than the front. And you can actually cut this, do all of this before you start assembling the cushion. Okay, so right there we're at about 5.5 right there. And the reason for this, you are going to be folding off 1.5 here to the top. Let me show you. Oh, sorry. And the reason for this, you're going to be folding off 1/2 inch here to the top. And after you fold the 1/2 inch, the next step is to fold another inch. All right. And you're going to stitch right along. And you do that to both pieces. So you fold off 1/2 inch and you fold 1 inch and you stitch right along here. And so I am going to be doing that just now. So you place, I don't know, the camera went there. So you place the back here. So you keep the right side of the cushion up, faces you. And the right side of the back goes on the right side of the front. And it's like this. And you keep the edges together like this, and you place that onto that. So this is one piece of the back. You take the other piece and you place it in the opposite direction, and this is what you have here. So that's why we say it's an overlap. You see, that is what it is. Okay, place it there and you pin all around. So you're gonna continue pinning, keeping the edges together. It's important. Pin in the center here. All right, and you do the same to this side. Okay, keeping everything together, right, level and nice. And so I'm going to be stitching it just now. So here it is. This is it, and this is the reason why we make it 5.5 inches, 1.5 for allowance and 4 inches for overlap. Okay, so there it is. I've also stitched the corners. It's important that you stitch the 4 corners. I'm going to be zigzagging around because I think that the inside of your work should be as neat as the outside. So I'm going to serge it off, turn it over, and let you have a look at it. So this is what it's looking like. Okay, the next step, I have to ensure that here is centered. It's looking a little bit off. Okay, so I'm going to bring it back like that, and I'm going to tack it, and this is what it's looking like. Now I will give you a little bit more information. The wider you make this, okay, the better it looks. Okay, so you want to have it like up to here. So I cut this 6 inches because, as I said, I was using the same material, the same thing that I used for the swag curtain, so I didn't have anything else to work with. Okay, so this is 6 inches, so I could have cut it maybe 8 inches. As I said, the wider this is, the better it looks to me. Okay, so if you're doing a big one, just know for sure that you want to have you know, less space to the corners and make the bow much bigger. So I'm going to put the cushion in it and let you see what it's looking like, and I hope you learned something today. This is Sharon again from Everything Beautiful. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Have a good day.